it's lots of fun and it's something that we all love to do. So that's the best part about these boot camps. So I'm just going to pull up the event here and just tag everyone and just let everyone know that we're live. I wonder if I can do that. No, I can't do it from here. I'm just going to go into the Facebook group here and tag everyone. So right now I am currently in Adobe Bridge and I like to work with Adobe Bridge and Camera Raw. It's very easy to use. And okay, everyone, we are live for day 3 boot camp. So hopefully it actually tags people, because I swear it never does. Okay. Okay, we got 7 people. Okay, we're gonna get going on this, and let me know if you have questions while I'm working. And definitely, like, don't be afraid to ask me questions, because I'll slow down if needed. Okay, so let's just see here. Just gonna pick some random ones. Hey, Victoria. Awesome. Oh, we're getting a few more on here. Sweet. Tell me where you guys are from. I love to know. Okay, so the raw images that I am about to edit with you guys are all in Adobe Bridge right now. So I think we'll edit this one to show how I fill the backdrop. We'll do the 2 parent ones, and we'll do the thumb up one and the taco pose. Okay, so I'm going to press Command R on my screen, and what that does is it automatically opens them up into Adobe Camera Raw. So some of these I've already reset and some of them I haven't. So I'm just going to reset the ones that I haven't. Oops. And this will give us the full representation of what we're working with. So I'm just resetting it with that little button here. Welcome, welcome, guys. Oh, we're up to 20 watching. That's fantastic. Hey, Shan. Hey, Kat. Hey, Kina, Cassie, Avery, Monica, Justina, Diane. Awesome. Oh, I'm so glad. A bunch of you guys have made it on. This is fantastic. Catherine, Gemma, Lori, Tiffany. Awesome. Okay. So if you haven't yet grabbed the raw files, please do so now. You can grab them off the pinned top of the Facebook group. And I'm just going to zoom. Yeah. Okay. So I don't know which presets I'm going to use yet, but these are in my mirrorless collection. So we're just going to go through and just see what fits best. And so this is the mirrorless collection. This actually was almost like one click. Works really well for him. So actually, I think I'm just going to stick with that for him. And these files are an R6, by the way. So if you're wondering, it's an R6. Okay. Now this little guy had very like pale skin. So I think I'm going to end up using creamy one, and I have to adjust the white balance. So what I like to do first is when I pick a preset, I'm looking for the tones of the skin. I like the way it made his skin look. Of course, the rest of the image is a little bit too washed out. So we're going to tweak that in a second. So first, I'm just going to lower the temperature. And then because it's so washed out, that usually means that the contrast is reduced and the clarity is reduced. So we're going to bring up the clarity and we're going to bring up the contrast. Ooh, not too much. We don't want it to be too crazy. And then we're going to bring up the saturation because it was like a little bit too washed out, I feel like. Oh, that's what the other preset I had on. Okay, let's just reduce the clarity again. And I think I reduce the vibrance. Okay. No, actually, I'm going to change the preset. I don't like that on him. Okay, we're going to go through these ones again. This one is pretty good. Actually, this one is pretty good too. Okay, so what I just have to do is it's keeping with the tones of the fabric, but I just have to soften it. So dehaze is up too much. So I'm just going to bring that down. And then his skin is a little bit dark. So I'm going to just bring up the exposure a little. And the highlights need to be brought down. Okay. And I am going to paste those settings onto the next picture. So all I did was just sync them just so that they match. Now, it's really important that when you are editing, that you're always focused on, you know, like keeping the image, keeping the baby as natural looking as possible. So I like to focus on the skin first and foremost. And yeah, it's a little bit dingy, I think, this preset on here. So I'm just going to bring up the vibrancy on the image. I do like how his skin is warmer, but I am just going to reduce it just a little bit. So when you go to the color mixer, what you can do is you can, if you're not familiar with like what sliders to choose, now you can actually click on the overall adjustment and you can increase, decrease, and you can just do that with sliding. Hues, you can do that with hue or with all. So like that, you can make adjustments. So what I am going to do is adjust them manually. So I'm going to bring the reds down. Okay. This is just a different edit. Okay, and then with the luminance, try and be cautious with your luminance. You don't want to go crazy because what it'll do is it'll blow out your highlights. So I used to do that all the time. It was a mistake that I used to make. And now I'm quite aware of everything. Oh no. Okay, I'm just making sure. I'm like kind of trying to watch on my phone to make sure that you guys don't lose anything I'm working on. Okay. So I'm just gonna paste those settings now. Okay. So with this, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to the presets again. And I like to use certain presets depending on what backdrop I use. And I think clean 2 is pretty good. I'm just going to come down to fresh. I'm going to use fresh 5, I think. It's the closest one to the original. Okay. And then I'm going to paste it. And now I'm going to just tweak the shadow side of his face with a radial mask. So I'm just going to rotate that around him. And I'm going to bring the exposure up, and I'm going to bring the blacks up, not too much because I need to keep it realistic. And the shadows up. And I am going to reduce the contrast. And yeah, that's good. Okay, so now with this little one, I'm just in the mirrorless collection still. I might go down to brush 5 or I think clean 1. No, star 5. Okay, so I think, yeah, I like star 5. So I press Q on my keyboard, and what that does is it allows me to compare the images. No, these presets work in Lightroom too. Yeah, I would try and mimic, yeah. Yeah. And then, okay, so now I'm just gonna go to this next backdrop and just see which one I like best. And these were made with a variety of different camera bodies. So for the most part, some of them will work better on your camera body than other presets in this pack, just because they're all different. Like the Dream collection, the Fresh collection, it's all with different camera bodies. And I'm trying to decide which look I want to go for. This is more punchy. I'm going to go with star 3. And then I'm going to adjust that in a second. I'm just going to copy and paste those presets. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the luminance down. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to go to the basic panel. So with presets, I will usually do the same presets applied to each set. So for instance, let's just pretend this was all the same baby. I would do one preset for this fabric and then maybe a different preset for this. But usually you can use the same preset and just tweak it a little bit just to fine tune it to what you need to work on. Okay, so I am just going to bring down the highlights a little. And bring the highlights down a little bit on this one. Okay, and now I am just going to press Command A, and we're going to open these in Photoshop. So presets are meant to basically help you get your images right to the point where you want them to be. So they're on momtogeducate.com, and they are the mirrorless presets. And I'm going to give you guys a discount code at the end of this to get 70% off if you promise me that you commented every single day during the boot camp. I'm really trusting. So what we're going to do now is we're going to work on fixing the backgrounds and everything like that first before we carry on and finish editing everything. Okay, so I'm going to press J, and J on your keyboard is going to either select the spot healing brush tool, or it's going to select the healing brush tool or the patch tool. Now I'm going to use the patch tool, and I'm going to press delete. Okay, so normally it does a pretty good job. Sometimes you have to give it a little bit of a helping hand, but when you're doing this, you want to make sure that you're working off of the background layer. Oh yeah, that's exciting. So what we're going to do now is I'm just going to tweak this a little bit. And then if you notice on this picture, she's got some P on the fabric. So I'm going to press Command J, and I'm just going to just patch tool that lightly. Oop, that one didn't work. And then I'm going to lower the opacity of the layer just because then it's not going to give such a strong like patch difference, I guess. And then we're going to flatten it. So you can flatten the layers just by selecting them and holding the flatten. Okay, but before we finish working with her P, we're going to do one of my favorite tricks. Oh, can you do that one more time? Okay. Yeah, so it's the patch tool. Okay, so you just make sure that you're using the background layer and the patch tool, and then you just either drag it or you press delete on your keyboard, and it's going to content aware fill it. So it works wonderful. And so the next thing I'm going to show you is to make a duplicate layer, and you're going to press Command J and then Command T. And this is my favorite hack like ever. So this is like when I discovered how to do this, nobody taught me how to do this. I discovered it all on my own. And I was so happy because it just helps you if you have an issue where you need to crop it and change the composition of it, or maybe you need to like edit a part of the backdrop out or something like that. This is just a really super quick fix. Yeah, the delete button, yeah. I have this in my mentoring. Yeah. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna create like a haze around her. So we're going to first, I'm just gonna move this stinking Zoom stuff. Okay, so first we're gonna take the eyedropper tool and we're going to hold our Option key. And I always like to select from behind the neck. I don't know, it's just like a good neutral area. And so what it's doing is it's actually picking the color of the fabric. So every time you click on the eyedropper, it's going to click a different part. So I'm just clicking right behind the neck. And then I'm going to go to Layer, New Fill Layer, Gradient. And we're going to press OK. And we're going to actually change it to radial. And then reverse. Okay. And then we're going to click on it and we are going to, it looks good. I like the colors that we've got. So we're going to just lower the opacity a little bit, maybe down to like 70%. And then with this, we're going to take a black brush. So click B on your keyboard for brush. And we're just going to, oh, we need to have a black brush. So press X. And what the X does is it toggles between the white and the black. Okay. So if we're going to paint on a white mask, we need a black brush. Okay. So that's what we're doing. I am just lightly going over. And then when I want to have like a lighter feathered edge, I bring the flow down. Okay. So I'm bringing the flow down just so that it's just a lighter edge. And I'm going around on baby's body. Okay. And then if I need to go up closer to the edge again, then I press X on my keyboard. And I just, go back and just tidy up those edges. So this is before, this is after. And then of course I still like to see definition. So I am just going to reduce that maybe down to like 50%. Now I'm going to flatten it again. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go with Totally Rad D-Blotch Medium. And this is not my action, you guys, so I cannot sell it to you, but you can buy it from Totally Rad. And it's Pro Retouch 2, version 2. So I use the D-Blotch Medium. It's one of my most go-to skin smoothing actions. And I do have a lot of other skin smoothing actions, but for the most part, I always come back to this one. So I'm just smoothing and I'll just press the, oops. So you can see exactly where I smooth the skin. So all of this red is not been brushed on. Okay, so this is showing you exactly where I've brushed on. And so as you can see, I'm not going over the eyes. I'm not going over the nostrils, the lips, the toes, nothing. I'm only going over open sections of the skin. Okay. And then I'll press flatten. And then I'm going to go back to my skin smoothing, not my skin smoothing, sorry, my Magenta Attack first. And Magenta Attack is a great action to like just warm up the skin and reduce magenta. It makes it really creamy looking. And this is in my skin actions on Mom Tug Educate. Okay, so this is just at 40%. This is before, this is after, before, after. So of course I don't like to go crazy. I still like to have like pink skin. The skin smoothing actions, yeah, it's Totally Rad. Yeah, so to change the size is just like Robin posted, it's the bracket keys. Okay, so and then I'm just gonna run Supreme Care on the little feet, but lightly because I like to keep the pink toes. I don't want to go nuts. Okay. Okay, and then flatten. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to patch tool a little bit of the skin imperfections. So I'm going to press Command J and then zoom in by pressing Command plus. And I just patch tool a little bit of the skin, but she's really got great skin. So it's really no big deal at all. And like, don't forget that like babies are meant to be pink. They're meant to have pink feet. So if you want to have your actions color coded, that's called button mode. So if you click on your actions and click on the lines at the top and click on button mode, it'll be colored. But if you unclick it, then it goes gray again. So I always keep it on button mode because then I don't have to click an action and then press play. I just click the action and it plays automatically. Okay, flattening that. And then I'm just going to refresh and contrast if I want to. It just gives it a little bit of a pop. I'm just going to lower that 16% and then press flatten. And what you could do too, if you wanted, is you could do like a blush from the Totally Rad. And you could just add a little bit of blush tones. Let me just bring that up here. But she's already got like fairly pink cheeks, so I'm not really going to worry too much about that. Press flatten, and then that picture is done. Okay, so then we're going to do this one now. So I'm going to press J. And the reason why it's easy to edit these pictures is all because of the way the posing and the lighting is. So if you find that you're having a really hard time editing, it's most likely because the lighting. Yeah, I also use the baby butter actions, totally. But sometimes I find that they're a little bit too intense. So sometimes I just like to go in between them. But I like to have, like, I'll use the baby butter actions right now. I have them right here. Okay, I'll use them on this one, on this baby's face. Okay, so I like to stick to baby butter natural. I don't really care for the other ones. So I'm just going around in the main sections. Okay, and then what I do is I will carry up with my option key, the mask, so that it applies to both. And then I will do the no reds. And then I will go to the skin tone and I will brush the skin tone over. And then the rosy cheeks. So I do like the look of that too. I think that it's really pretty. I'll use the skin texture or texture scrub. And then, so that's before and that's after. And that is really nice too. I do like that. So you can basically get the same result though from either one. So, oh, actually she still got too much magenta. So I'm just going to run over my action magenta attack. And because I don't like to have too much magenta because it prints quite heavily. And then I also like to just lower the opacity of the action. And then what we're going to do now a bunch of redness. I don't have that planned for this evening, but I do have YouTube videos with lots of redness. So you can definitely check out those and those should help you for sure. I like to still run my subtle smoother over top of as a finishing smoothing action. And the reason why is it just blends everything together. And so if you have like any blotchiness or anything like that, that my skin smoothing action just blends it all. And then we still have to take off the dry flakiness. And if you, that's what we'll do. If you can edit one of these pictures, I will give you the skin smoothing action complimentary, but you have to post it in the Facebook group and tag me. Okay, so that's good. So now we're just going to match this fabric. So this fabric color, we're going to select it from this picture and we're going to now do the layer filter, new fill layer gradient. The downloads shouldn't have expired. They should be good for a week, for 7 days. Did anybody else have trouble getting the pictures? Okay, so we're choosing radial, then we're clicking reverse. I'm pressing OK. And then we're just going to lower the opacity. And then what we'll do is we're just going to brush off with a black brush off the skin. And remember, when you go close to the edge, you want to bring your flow down so that it is like more of a feathered edge. Okay. So that is before, after, before, after. So it does really make it like nice and artsy, I feel like. So before, after. Oh, and then we did the refresh and contrast to give it a little bit of a pop. Where is it now? Yeah, so we'll just lower that down to 10%. Flatten. Okay. Now we're gonna go to Kathy, what are you asking me? How did I do what? The haze layer? Okay, so with this picture, this is actually taken at our last newborn live. And she was such a precious little thing. Oh my gosh. So precious. I'm just gonna do deep blotch medium. 100%. Oh, the hazy layer. I'll do it again on another picture. Yeah, so this little one definitely has a lot more redness in her skin. So I am just going to use Supreme Care on her and just I'm just going to lower the opacity and press X and then just even it out. Okay, so this is before, after, before, after. Press flatten. And then I am going to do magenta attack. Yeah, and this is the IKEA basket that I bought. And it worked out quite well. I'm quite happy with it. Okay, and then we're gonna do just magenta attack just to cream her up. Should be all creamy. Okay, before, after, press flatten. And then I am going to do my subtle smoother. And I'm actually gonna bring up the fill on it just so that I can cover those arms. She had a wrap imprint from her whatever wrap it was. Okay, we're gonna run subtle smoother one more time. And then I'm just gonna run it at the regular at 100%. I like creamy skin. You're angling wrong. If you're having a hard time with your wood backdrop, it's all in the angle. Supreme Care is my action, yeah. Yeah, I just used Supreme Care on her and then I used magenta attack. So I'll just show you guys the before and after. So this is before and this is after. Before, after. Okay. And this is just me taking a picture of her on my wooden floor drop. And there's no backdrop. I don't ever use a backdrop when I'm taking this type of picture. It's all in the angle. Okay, and then I'm just going to sharpen it and flatten it. And I think I might just add a little bit of blush to her. And then, oh, I forgot to take these things out. Okay, so I'm just carefully lining up on here. Ooh. Try and make sure that you take those skin things out before you sharpen it, because that does become a problem. Okay, so that one is good. This is good. This is good. Okay, and now we're gonna do this guy. So I do like to use the, which smoother is that? Oh, that's just my skin smoother. No, I don't have any of those fancy petite drops. That's my wood floor. I make it look so easy. Well, I'm showing you guys, it is easy. You can do it, I promise. Okay, so I am just going to Photoshop his little logo off of his shirt. So all I did was I used the spot healing brush tool. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fix the backdrop. So I'm going to press Command J, Command T, and I am going to stretch it again. Okay. Because then I don't have to worry about the backdrop. Right. So I'm going to, well, actually, I'm going to bring it up a little bit. So I'm going to press Command T and I'm just going to stretch it so I don't have to see the top of his neck. And it's also just centering him and it's giving it a better composition, basically. Okay. And then I'm going to flatten it. And if you don't have the Hello Little background fix actions, I have to say they're freaking awesome. So I wish I made them. They're real good. I do use them a lot. They're expensive though. So that's the only thing, is actions are expensive. Unfortunately. That seamless paper is chestnut. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use, because he's quite magenta looking, so I'm just going to put my magenta attack on him. And I am going to use a white brush. So I press X on my keyboard. And it really does just correct the color. You just have to be like cautious and practical though. Like if it turns the baby green or something, it means that your strength is too high. So then lower the opacity of the action. In this case, it's the right amount. So I'm going to leave it. And then for his little toes, I think that he just needs a little bit removed, but babies have naturally pink toes, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. And then I am going to lower the opacity of the brush now, and I am just going to take it off of this area and right here. Okay. So now what we're going to do is, because he's kind of got a little scrunchy face, I like to use D-Blotch medium because it likes, oh yeah, one long skinny wrap is the best type of wrap to do this wrap. Ella, that's hilarious. Yeah, you need to use like a skinnier, thinner wrap, and it needs to be super duper long. Okay, so this is going to be at 100%. And I love this action just because I feel like I know it's just consistent, and his little frown lines are just so funny. Okay, so I'm going to press flatten, and then I'm going to go to my subtle smoother. Thank you. And I am going to brush it on because it just kind of blends everything. So sometimes when you have like a harsh shadow like this action will actually like blend the highlights and the shadows nicely without having any like super extreme contrasty lines. Okay, now I'm going to press Command J. And I'm going to press Patch Tool. And this poor little guy, oh my goodness. He was also from a newborn live. This was done at a newborn live. And he was like so floppy. Like, I don't know if any of the girls who are watching right now remember how floppy he was. He had like no muscle mass. He was very like limp. Okay, so just be cautious that when you're doing the patch tool, that you don't get these big, weird, funky blotches that I'm starting to get. And this is why it's really good to have a duplicate layer to do this on, because you want to be able to erase it or fix it if you have to. So I always like to just zoom in and do a little bit at a time. It doesn't have to take you a long time to do. And then for the little spots, then I will bring down the, yeah, you can use a different preset and just post on the inside the Mumtog Educate Facebook group and do the hashtag bootcamp July 2023. And if you can comment the hashtag in the comments, that would be awesome. And then everybody who posts their homework picture and tags me, Catherine Barretto, then I will send you a discount code to get the skin smoothing action for free. Okay, so there we go. His skin looks pretty darn good. And yeah, I would just leave it like that. I like it. I'm happy with it. Okay, so I'm going to show you how good this backdrop action is. It's so good. So first I run background fix. Now this is not my action, you guys. This is from Hello Little. And so what it does is it's pretty good. It doesn't get everything, but what you can do is you can go into the action of the layer and press the Option key on your keyboard and select a brush that's matches that color. Okay, and you can just paint over. And then I grab a darker one. And then what I do is I will grab this again, but then bring the opacity down. And then I'll just run across the top. Okay. And then what I'll do so that I don't get any banding is I'll press flatten. So, oops. I double click it and press flatten image. And then I will run zero banding. Yeah, they're very proud. Yeah, it's very cute. Okay, so then you have to run this zero banding after, because if you don't, you will get really bad banding. I'm just warning you. And then I flatten it. And then I'm going to do a 5:7 ratio crop, because like I showed you guys before, it's really important to, you don't want to have them like in the middle of the image. Like for instance, like you don't want them like down here and then have all of this empty space, like you want it to fill the frame. Okay, so now with parents, what I like to do with parents is I like to use my skin smoothing action only on parents. The background is the sorcery sauce from Hello Little props. Okay, so I am just going to run this at 100% because it doesn't make them look fake. It keeps the texture pretty good. And it's not too like fake looking, but it gives them a really nice smooth look. And then I also usually use it on babies in the parent portion because usually it's like funky, weird angles of their faces and stuff like that. So I just find that it works better. Now you can see how red his head is. So I'm going to do magenta attack on it. Yeah, you will be able to watch the replay for sure. The replay will be available for a few days. Okay. So that is with 100% magenta attack. So this is before, this is after, before, after. Okay, it's a lot better. I'm just going to lower it to 83% just because I like to. I'm going to press J because I'm going to get rid of this guy's logo. I don't like it when they use logos with their shirts, but whatever. And then I am just going to use the spot healing brush to, he just has like a couple little spots, so there's no point in going crazy. Okay. And just patch tool, whatever doesn't come out good. Okay, and then that's good. And so then, yeah, I would just leave it like that and then maybe do like refresh and contrast. Nope, that's too much. But I'll definitely sharpen them with my sharpening action. And that's good. That's ready to edit. Now I'm going to show you, okay. So with the, like, let's just say, this is a trick that I use, okay, that I showed you guys already. So I pressed Command J, Command T, because I don't want to edit this, okay? This was a screw up on my part to have this backdrop right there. So I just stretch it and then voila, I don't have to worry about it, right? It's so much easier, so much less stressful. Okay, and then I just get in there. Well, first I'm going to flatten it and then I'm going to press Command J. And I'm just going to get rid of this. Whoop. And got this going on. Okay, and then we're going to deblotch medium his skin. What is it? 100%. And this preset was just one and done. One click. And then flatten. And then I just use my magenta attack on him again. So it just really reduces the magentas. So I just lower it though, because you don't want to go crazy. If you don't see much of a difference with the deblotch, then you may be not using it properly because the deblotch is extremely good. And then Supreme Care. And then I just use this at like 40%. And this is my action. Okay. And then just a little bit on the feet, but I like to still have some pink feet. Press flatten. And then I'll use the blush just for a little bit. Okay. Another trick I can show you too is go to your adjustments panel, go to levels, and you can bring in the dark side, bring in the bright side, and then you can turn the middle to the left a little bit, and it just brightens it. Yeah, me too, Victoria. Yeah, I find that that gives me the results I like the best. So this, look at the difference in this, you guys. So with the levels, I literally pulled in the darks, I pulled in the brights, and then I adjusted the midtones before, after, like it gave it a huge pop. So then I'm going to sharpen it and flatten it. I'm happy with that. So that's edited. Okay, so this little guy, oh, he had the funkiest little skin. So we're going to run magenta attack on him and see what we need to do with him. So it's almost a little bit too strong. So I'm just going to lower it down on this picture. And so I lowered it to 59%. I'm going to press flatten. Let's use magenta attack or deblotch medium. Sorry, I already used magenta attack. So I've got it at 100%. So like, just to show you the difference with deblotch medium, it's huge. Okay, so this is with deblotch medium. This is without, without. So it's like crazy difference. And then, okay, so I'm just kind of going over the rest of the body, pressing flatten, and then I am going to just use a little bit of blush, and I'm just going to pink up his cheeks. Because sometimes you don't need to turn a baby like super warm and turn them like orange, you know? You want to have them like a natural, normal color. So press Command J, and we're just going to fix these little situations here. And like, just remember, less is more, you guys. Like, it's very easy to get carried away in Photoshop. It's very easy to take our babies' like these babies' pictures and turn them into dolls and make them look fake. But not everybody's a fan of that. Like, sometimes parents want to see the realness. So the more color and texture that you can keep, the better. And so I'm like a big advocate for trying to keep as much as I can, but within reason, of course. Like, I want it to look really nice and polished, but at the same time to have texture. I also don't remove flaky skin off of arms and legs. And if parents ask me, I say, oh, but you're never going to have that again. Like, you're never going to have your baby have flaky legs and flaky arms and hands ever again. Like, this shows how brand new they are. And when I tell them that, then suddenly they're like, oh yeah, you're right. And then they're like, let's keep it. Although I have had some, so I'm just going back to the patch tool. I'm just going to move that. I have had some parents where they have like the birthmark on the eye, and she's like, I hate it. It's so red. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so cute. But she's like, I don't like it. So I had to remove it in every picture, which whatever, it's her pictures. So I did, but it just shocked me that she didn't like it. But for the most part, so I'm just going over with my skin smoothing action, and like, it just gives that polished look to it. And as you can see, like I'm not taking out all of the color out of his skin. Like I'm not doing that. That's not my goal. My goal is to correct the tone of the skin. Would you be able to show how to edit darker natural yellow skin tones? Yeah. That'll have to be for a different day though. And then for this one, we did that one already. So I'm just going to show you, because we already did this one, I'm going to show Kathy missed the haze. So with this one, what we'll do is I'm going to press Option on my keyboard. Okay. It's selected that green. I don't know what it's doing. And then I'm going to select it again. So now the both colors are like that green color. And then I'm going to go to Layer, New Fill Layer, Gradient. And I'm going to click Radial, Reverse. And I am going to, like, it's obviously way too strong. I am just going to lower the opacity. And, but that's how you would do it. And then you would brush it off. But I don't generally like to do that on a patterned backdrop, just because I think it's bizarre. So I will delete that. Oops. But that's how you do it. Okay. So here we go. So we've got this one. I'll just show you the befores and afters of all of these. So this is the before, this is after. I'll give you, so I'm just taking snapshots. This is before, this is after. Oh, we didn't do this one. Just delete that. And this is before, this is after. What I could do is do that levels again, which I tend to do. So I'll bring in the right side. I'll bring in the dark side a little bit. Not too much, don't want it to go too crazy. And then I can bring in up the midtones a little bit. So this is with the levels and without the levels. So that definitely added a lot of brightness. So I'm going to keep it like that. And then this one, we'll show you the before and after. So this is before, this is after. And before, after. Before, after. Before, after. So, hi, Jacqueline. Yeah, you're able to join us live. Yeah, it is like magic. It's amazing. It's definitely super awesome. So, thank you, Robin, for helping out. So I just wanted to mention, oh yeah, I'm just going to show you guys how to save these. So I just like to save as, and it's really important to make sure that you are saving an sRGB, JPEG, and make sure that the file size is all the way to the 12, which is maximum, and press OK. And then I'll show you how to make an action out of it. So we will make an action to save July boot camp. And I'm just going to make it yellow, record. So I'm going to file, save as, make sure it's in the right folder, and save, press OK, and then exit it. And then I'm going to press stop. So now I've got my action right here. I'm going to turn button mode back on. And I'm just going to press save July bootcamp, save July bootcamp. So I like to do this when I'm working in Photoshop, just because it makes my life so much easier. Just because sometimes I only like to edit a couple pictures at a time, and it just makes more sense for me. So I am just going to show you guys the mentoring option. So If you want to know about my mentoring course, if you go to mumtoglessons.com, you're going to be able to see everything that I have available in my mentoring program. And there is some amazing bonuses. So I'm just going to tell you some of the bonuses because it is truly like there is no other program out there that includes an in-person mentoring day with the mentor, as well as 6 months of mentoring online. Plus, you will get a 1 month of SEO services with expert Dave Rosen. So basically, I pay him for your full month of SEO services, and he teaches you how to do your SEO. Okay, so like it is the most kick-ass program available. Not gonna lie, like it is freaking awesome. So if you want to know what it is, this is what it is. Go to mumtoglessons.com. Now the full price is what it's valued at. Okay, the full price is $2,800, but right now for the first 5 people that join are going to get $800 off. And Robin, can you just post that link? So the coaching calls are every 2 weeks. And what we do is we get together on Zoom, and usually I would say there's never really more than probably 8 of us on there at a time. Like I feel like a lot of people are busy, right? So they join when they can join. If they can't join, then what they do is they just watch the replay and they ask their questions, and then they join as soon as they can join. So this is the payment option. So normally it's $2,800 to join. It's 6 months. You get everything I have. You get free presets and actions. You get the full website where I give you all of my education courses, everything like that. Plus, right now, if the first 5 students during this boot camp join and use this save $800, you'll get $800 off of it. So you can do it with payment plan. So if you want the $800 off, but 6 months in payments, then it's saved 28%. It's the closest I could get to $800. So it's like really close to $800 off. And then once those 5 have been filled, then the next will be $600 off. And so like, if you're wondering, okay, well, I can join anytime and I can get the discounts anytime. No, the discounts are going to expire on the 9th. So today is pretty much today and tomorrow. And what day is it today? It is the 6th. So 3 more days. And then it's the discounts are gone. So if you're interested, then definitely fill out an application. If you want to talk to me first, yep, you can totally watch the replay. The replay is going to be available for the next few days. So you can download the images and you can watch the replay and edit along with me. But if you do want to get the discounts and join and, have an awesome time online with our private group, plus get an in-person mentoring day with me, then you definitely want to sign up because it's freaking awesome. Yeah, Abigail, it's like, I understand, but that's why the monthly plan is available, because it's really only $300 a month. Essentially, it's like $336. So if you click on it, Tamara, did you join? Oh, you just watched. Okay. Or you just joined the boot camp. Okay, I see. So if you guys click on the writing in blue, it'll bring you to the discount link. Okay. So, and each link is appropriate for what it is. So yeah, it's $336 a month for 6 months. You will get lifetime access to the website content, but the Zooms and the newborn lives and all that is in the mentoring group. So after 6 months, you do have the option to stay in the mentoring group for $15 a month. And you can find all the presets and actions on momtogeducate.com. So I will stop sharing and I will just quickly create some discount codes for because I meant to do that, but I just didn't have a chance. And then I'm going to have to go, you guys, because I have a consultation. So if you have questions, please tag me and I would be more than happy to answer you as soon as my next appointment is done. And then also, if I end up filling up the workshop in Florida or North Carolina, then I will open up a day for mentoring students that don't want to come to Canada and they want to stay in the States. That's going to be an option too. From the sounds of it, it very well may happen. So okay, I'm just going to create a discount. Thank you so much for joining, you guys. I really appreciate you spending the time and hanging out with me. Okay, discount or amount automatic discount. I'll just do 70% off. I trust you guys. Okay, specific products. Let me see. So all the presets and actions are going to be 70% off for today only. And then after tonight, I'm going to count up everyone's comments, and whoever did all the comments, you guys will get the lighting tutorial complimentary. I will get in touch with each of you individually. Okay, so I'm just making up this discount code for you right now. So just hang on. Am I still running on Zoom? Yeah, I am. Okay, good. Oh. Okay. Okay, so it's active, you guys. So go for it. Go into the momtogeducate.com and you can get 70% off of the presets and the actions. So I'm just going to share my screen again. We're going to go here. So it is momtogeducate.com. So I'm just showing you where the presets and actions are. So if you just go to the momtogeducate.com and you can click on presets, add to cart. And then when you go to checkout, it should be automatic. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's so cheap, you guys. 70% off. So have fun, enjoy. I have to run because I have a consultation that is starting. Yep, absolutely, for Photoshop. Yep. You're in the clear. If you don't have a mirror list, get the character presets. If you have a mirror list, get the mirror list presets. Okay, thank you guys so much for hanging out. I'm going to check this in about half an hour again to answer any more of your questions that I may have missed. And you guys are amazing. And thank you so much for hanging out. Okay. Talk to you soon. Bye.